Okay, remember the star means to show steps for credit. For number 1 and 2, it says write the ratio as a fraction in simplest form. So this would be 20 over 32, 20 to 32. And that can be reduced. 4 goes into both of these. 4 goes into 20 5 times, and 4 goes into 32 8 times. And that's in simplest form. By the way, this is chapter 6.1. For number 2, 30 to 18, that's 30 over 18. Okay, what number will go into both of these? What's the largest one? How about 6? 6 goes into 30. 6 goes into 30 5 times. 6 goes into 18 3 times. And that's all the further we can leave it. We have to leave it as a fraction, not a mixed number, but a fraction. Number 3, solve the proportion. Whatever's diagonal of x always goes in the very bottom, and the other 2 go on top. And you can see that 9 goes into 54. 9 goes in there once. 9 goes into 54 6 times. 2 times 6, that's 12. 12 over 1, that's just 12. X is 12. Number 4, the one diagonal of x goes on the bottom. The other 2 go on top. These 2 right there. And 18 goes into 180 10 times. So 18 goes in here once. 18 goes in there 10 times. So now we have on top 5 times 10, 50. On the bottom, 1. So the answer is just 50. X equals 50. Number 5, find 34% of 250. Different ways of doing this, but I'll just multiply. I'm going to go ahead and make this into a decimal. That makes it 0.34. If I move the decimal over 2 spaces, 0.34. And then I just multiply. So when I multiply 4 times 250, that's 1,000. Put a space holder, then multiply 3 times 250. 3 times 250 is 750. Then I add that up. So I didn't line them up properly, but so it should look like this. Then if I add it up, I move the decimal over 2 spaces. So the answer is just 85. 85.0 or just 85. So 34% of 250 is 85. Number 6 is find 55% of 340. So I'm going to take 340 times 50.55. Just make it to a decimal, 0.55. And if I multiply that out, I end up with 0.00781. And I move the decimal over 2 spaces. 1, 2, 1, 2. I get 187. So the answer is 187. That's 55% of 340. By the way, half of 340 is 170, and 5% is 17. By the way, notice how I just moved the decimal over from 50 to 5. And so what's that? That's also 187. So either way, it works out. Number 7 says write the percent as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. Number 7, 91%. That's 91 hundredths. 91 out of 100. And 88%, percent means out of 100. So that's 88 out of 100. 4 will go into both of these. I'll try that. 4 goes into 88 22 times. 4 goes into 100 25 times. So I use the number 4. And that cannot be reduced. That is it. Number 9, write the percent as a decimal. Okay, you have percent. You want to go to decimal, then you're going to have to go this direction, 2 spaces. So if the decimal's there, I go over 2 spaces, It's in between the 1 and the 5. I move it over 2 spaces. Same thing with number 10. Move it over 2 spaces, you should have 1.043. Move it to the left. Number 11, write the decimal as a percent. It's decimal, you want it to go to percent, so you have to move the decimal this direction to the right 2 spaces. So I'm going to have to move it over to where it says 83.4. That is now a percent. You went from decimal to percent. Number 12, write the fraction as a percent. The top number goes in the box. Put the decimal straight up, add a 0, 20 goes into 90. 20 times 4 is 80. That gives us 10 left over, add a 0, bring it down. 20 goes into 100 5 times. Right? 5 times 20 is 100. Move the decimal over 2 spaces. Your answer is 45%. Number 13, 11 goes in the box. Top number goes in the box. Decimal goes straight up. Add a 0. 50 goes into 110 twice. That's 100. That gives you 10 left over. Add another 0. 50 goes into 100 twice. 2 times 50 is 100. There's our decimal. I move it over 2 spaces to make it percent. 22%. 14, find the percent increase from 240 to 380. 240 to 380. Remember, the difference goes on top, and the original number goes on the bottom. Now we subtract the 2 to get our top number, and that's 140. Now I can go ahead and reduce as much as possible. I can see that 10 goes into both of these. Right, so I can just get rid of those. And 14 and 24, we know that 2 will go into both of those. 2 goes in there 7, and 2 goes into 24, 12. Right? Half of that 7, half of that is 12. Now we just simply divide 12 into 7, decimal straight up. 5 times 12 is 60. That gives us 10. Add another 0. 8 times 12 is 96. And so that gives us 4 left over. That's good enough. If I move the decimal over 2 spaces, it's 58%. So it's going to be like 58.1%. Number 15, sporting goods store pays $110 for a rubber raft. And find the percent markup is 30%. Find the raft's selling price. Well, let's first find the markup, then we'll add it to the original price. So 30% of 100. Remember the shortcut method I told you? Just put 0 for the space holder, and then start multiplying by 3 here. 3 times 0, 3 times 1. Move the decimal over 2 spaces. It's $33. That's the markup. I want the selling price, so I'm going to take 110 plus $33. 110, that's the original, plus 33, the markup. That's $143. That's how much the store is going to sell it to us for. Remember, you're looking for the selling price. Number 16, all swimming equipment's on sale for 15% discount. A snorkeling set regular sells for $70. Find the discount, not the selling price, just the discount. So take $70. You want 15% of that. So just multiply it out. 5 times 7 is 35. Seven to 3 is 10. Move the decimal twice. It's $10.50. That is the discount. That's all they ask for, discount. Not the sale price or anything, just the discount.